Okay, so I'm going to roll activation for my groups. That's how I start.
Yeah.
So can you roll a d6 for me, and we'll refer to the standard activation on the QRS chart.
Okay. Well, the number is 6.
Oh, the medicine roll. Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
good. Yeah. Excellent.
So if we
So,
look at the standard activation chart, as you can see in the middle is standard, and down at a 6 is medicine roll.
all right, I'm shuffling the medicine
For it.
cards. First, I'll draw your medicine card. Here you go.
Perfect.
One of
What does it say?
One of your groups makes an immediate retreat. One action at moving speed. Roll d6. 1 to 5, you choose the group. 6, your opponent chooses. So I'm going to re-roll. I'm going to roll for you.
Thank you.
5. So you get to choose which group does an immediate. You want the scene 1?
I think the stripling can do a retreat.
Yeah. Why not?
Will guarantee his movement.
They're walking.
5, they walk to the rear, so roll me 2 dice and then
Pick the highest.
pick the highest and then move them
5.
5 inches towards their board edge.
5 inches towards the board edge. Okay.
They saw that large group of warriors running into the swamp, and he said, I don't think I want to be here by myself, and went the other way.
Okay.
Now, because I rolled a medicine roll, we would check any wounded warriors, and you would roll on the battlefield medicine chart against any wounded warriors. 51 in the rule book.
Okay.
We don't have
We don't have to.
warriors.
We don't have any wounded at the moment.
That's correct, and only I would have to check because I'm the guy that rolled the 6. Well, you rolled it, but my guys are the ones that are affected. And then, so that's the wounded warriors, and then I get one group gets one action, and then you're going to get to react to it,
Okay.
and that will be the end of my move. So one group gets one action. I've already moved the stripling. I could actually activate him again and move him away or something, but I don't think I want to do that. I will activate group number 1. They're going to, so my red group number 1 is going to attempt to spot your black group number 2.
Okay.
So
Now,
we're both in the open.
my black group number 2 did run last time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's not an automatic spot?
So that's an automatic spot.
Okay.
So let's charge group number 1 at black group 2.
Okay. And we're talking
2d6 take the 2 highest. Or sorry, 3d6 take the
take
2
2
highest.
highest. So that's
Not
2,
much.
2, and a 2.
Yahtzee. So 4 inches. They're not going to make it. So they'll probably try to stay into the woods as much as they
Yeah,
can. to get
so
the
about
movement.
in there just to kind of give them some cover.
Yeah, they'll get blowed to death. Now, the way spotting rules work as well is once you've spotted somebody, your groups will tell the other groups where they are.
Okay.
So, for instance, my group number 1 just spotted your group number 2.
Right.
So now they will kind of turn around to group number 2 and tell, hey, group number 2, there's some bad guys over there, whether it's hand signals or whistles, bird whistles, or whatever it is that they're using as communication device. And they will tell group number 3 that you're over there.
Okay.
So they just spotted them now in my first action. They don't get to see them. So those groups, they get to see them right away and can do something. But group number 2 and 3 wouldn't see them at this point. They would see them in my next action.
Okay.
Which can actually be a reaction. So looking ahead, 2 and 3 will be able to see them. But so that stops me. Like group number 2 couldn't now fire their bows at black group 2
Okay.
because they don't know they're there yet. Unless I go and make a spotting roll right now and spot them and then fire my bows at them. But next turn in my next action, they will know they were there because group number one has now told them.
Okay.
All right. So that was my one action with one group because I made a medicine roll. So my turn is done. You get to react to it.
All right. I think if at all possible, bring this down and have a look at the up close.
Give it a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to want to fire my bows.
So to do this is a reaction, Bob.
Yeah.
We haven't really had a reaction yet, so we'll go over what we do. You have to activate that group first as a reaction.
Okay.
Activating for a reaction is a little bit different than activating when you're the active player. Because you're reacting to what I'm doing. Figures, warband sheet, warband record sheet.
Right.
So you're going to roll less than the CV of the best figure in that group. So who's got the best CV in that group?
It's my warbearer, or my companion.
What's his CV?
Arrow flies fast. He's CV4.
So he needs to roll a 4 or less. Then you can do whatever you want with that group. If you roll a 5 or a 6, they are standing around watching and have no reaction.
All right, here we go. Oh, my dice just tumbled. I got a 1.
Okay, so they are active. Now, what would you like to do with them?
They will... I think they will charge your warriors. Can they do that?
Absolutely. So you would roll 3d6 and take the 2 highest.
So that's 3 and a 6. I'll discard the 2.
So you're 9 inches. Obviously, that's what I can see that you're going to be able to contact.
Yeah.
So this kind of breaks down a little bit into steps now. You, as the charging player, get to decide how you want to line your figures up.
Okay.
Now, then I'm going to get to anybody within 1 inch of one of my figures engaged in a combat will get to react and can pull you out of combats and stuff like that.
Okay.
Or double up. So you, as the charging player, want to think about how you want to bring your guys in. The only thing I would say is, if you get 2 guys on one figure, or 2 or more, each extra guy is going to give you an extra dice in combat.
Okay.
And then remember, in combat, you're going to be rolling for the CV less than the CV of your figure that's involved in the combat. So that companion is going to be looking for 4s or less, right?
Okay.
If he gets somebody going into a fight with him, then he'll get an extra die. So now he'd get 2 dice instead of 1.
So if for instance, if the companion engages Grey Wolf, your great warrior, and took in the stripling with him, the stripling could give him a +1.
+1 die. Now, is there anybody within 1 inch of Grey Wolf?
Yes, there is a couple. Two warriors are within 1 inch of Grey Wolf.
So they're going to be able to go in and and take the stripling out of the fight and fight him individually.
Okay.
Except, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're not done yet. So if you've got somebody who can reach that guy, you can then stop me from being able to do that.
Okay.
So if you have a guy that can go 9 inches and contact that guy that you just moved,
I can do that. I have 2 guys who could contact both of these 2 forward warriors in your group.
So you want to do that in order to keep me from moving one of them in there to help Grey Wolf.
Okay.
And that's kind of the chess match of combat.
Okay. You still have two leftovers at the back?
Okay, but you have 1 left. You're not going to charge him in? He's the healer?
He's the healer. I'm going to hold him back.
So you have that choice, or you could put him in as a double on one because he won't take any damage.
Okay. Then
However, if you put him in, if you do that, I'm going to be able to maybe strip him off with one of my other warriors. You might not want to do that.
yeah, I might not want to do that. No, I'll hang him back. He'll stay within 2 inches, so he's still part of the group.
Yeah. Or you could leave him where he is, and he becomes his own group.
Yeah, I think I'll keep him with the group for now. Now, you still have 3 warriors yourself.
They're within 1 inch of a guy who's in combat.
They are.
So they're not within 1 inch of Grey Wolf because I think you basically cordoned him off. So that was the whole strategy here. So they can't go help Grey Wolf, but they can go help the other guys. Correct? So
Yes.
put one into each fight. So that means I'm going to get an extra die
On 2 of these combats. Yeah. And there's one guy who wasn't within 1 inch of anybody.
He's just in the group, but he can't get into the fight.
Yeah.
All right. So our fight's lined up. You're the charging player. You get to choose which fight you want to do first.
I think we're going to go... Go ahead.
The other thing that I should mention is that great warriors will tend to fight other great warriors, and companions will tend to fight other companions. So they have to actually seek each other out in combat. We haven't really got that situation because you've got a companion charging my great warrior. But I'll just mention it as a consideration.
So the first combat, I guess, I'd like to engage is the one with Grey Wolf. So my companion versus Grey Wolf, and my companion is aided by a stripling.
So you get the attack cards.
Okay.
And I get the defense cards.
All right.
Grey Wolf has a powerful swing, which is plus 1d6 for swing attack, and his fleet of foot plus 1d6 in movement. He's using a club, and he has wood chest armor.
Okay.
So the wood chest armor is going to be an extra hit for him. The way the armor works is it's a free hit.
Yeah.
We'll just take it off first if he gets hit. And a powerful swing would help him if he was attacking, but he's on the defensive, so he really has nothing that can help him with the defensive at this point. You have arrow flies fast.
Yeah.
He has a bow, an axe, a knife. Now this is important. If figures with a bow use their knife as their secondary weapon, and they have their bow, because everybody gets a knife for free, and a bow generally takes up all the equipment slots, unless you have a companion or a veteran warrior or a great warrior armed with a bow, because then they have the advantage that they get an extra equipment point, and we usually put a hand-to-hand weapon in there.
Yeah.
And you have an axe in there. So you don't have to use your knife as a secondary weapon. You can actually pull your axe out and use your axe.
Okay.
So you're using an axe, and you have a powerful swing plus 1d6 for swing attack. But you have no armor. You've given that up for the extra weapon. So if you look at your attack cards, and maybe you want to put the swing card down in your dice tray there. So you get plus 1d6 when using an axe. You see how it says that?
Yeah.
And then you also have a skill, powerful swing plus 1d6 for swing attack. So you would actually, if you use this card, you'd actually get plus 2d6. So what that means is if you look down on the bottom in the black section, if I, for instance, chose to counter blow, you would get 1 die and I would get 3, but you would automatically right away get plus 2 dice.
Okay.
If you use 3. Then you're going to get another die because you have a stripling supporting you, which is waving his knife and dancing around and aggravating Grey Wolf. So that's going to give you 4 dice to 3. So that's how that works.
Okay.
I'm not suggesting that's what we're doing right now, but you need to take a look at those numbers because I'm going to pick one of these cards on defense.
Okay.
Now, if you take the swing with the axe, you're going to get plus 2d6. If we switch to a different card, like say you try to fox me out and take the cut or jab card, cut or jab says plus 1d6 when using a knife, so you wouldn't get that. You want to put the cut card in there?
Yeah.
In your camera view. That says plus 1d6 and using a knife. You're not going to get that because you're not using a knife, you're using an axe. You'd also lose your plus 1d6 for your swing attack skill ability, which attribute which you wouldn't get. Okay, so again, if I took the counter blow there, you would get 3 dice, and I would get 1 because we always read the cards attacker number first, defender number second. Even on the defensive cards, it's always attacker number first. Important point: attacker number first. So 3 dice to 1, and then you get an extra die for the stripling. Would be 4 dice for you and 1 dice for me. So you can see how you can outfox your opponent, because if I had taken the counter blow in the first instance with the swing card, I would have got 3 dice. But if you fox me out and don't use the swing and go with the cutter jab, you'd get 4 dice and I'd only get 1.
Yeah.
You see how this works to your advantage by foxing me rather than
doing the most obvious thing. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your decision now. You're going to put a card face down there in front of the camera. I'll put one down here, which I can show you when I bring it up. Okay, I have a card selected. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You have one, obviously.
Yeah.
So let me get it in front of my camera.
Get yours up.
I have taken counter blow.
And I have taken swing.
So if you put the counter blow card out there beside your swing.
Hang on. We go to the defense card. You're on the defense cards. I'm on the attack cards. So counter blow sits beside.
All right. So again, we already did the math on this. So you're going to get 4 dice, and I'm going to get 3.
Okay.
My counter blow says AA in the top corner in red.
Yeah.
Your swing says AA. That means both of us have to use all attack dice. There's AA, AD, which is all defense dice. There's a 1A and a 1D, which means you have to choose at least 1 die of that color. So I'm choosing all attack dice, and you're choosing all attack dice because both of us are doing full-out attacks.
Right.
Like, we're not worrying about defending our life and limb at this point. So you're going to roll 4 red dice for you, and then you're going to roll 3 red dice for me.
Okay. So
now, normally we would do this in our own boxes, and we wouldn't have this confusion. But because we're only rolling in one box, I'll have you do the 4 and then the 3.
Okay.
So,
well, actually, what I'll do is I'll give you 3 black dice, and I'll give me 4 red dice.
There you go. Solves the problem. So before you roll them, we're looking for less than the CV, equal to or less than the CV of the figures that's in the fight. So you're looking for 4s. I'm looking for 5.
Yeah.
I'm looking for 5s. Is there any other modifiers? If we look at the QRS, so figure abilities, we already added that in. You're getting an extra die for that. Is there a terrain advantage? No, there's not. They're both in the sticks in the woods. Each supporting figure plus 1 die per figure. This is in the top right-hand corner on the screen, correct? In the pink. In the pink chart there, the close combat modifiers. Attacking with the best weapon, we've already given that to you. Attacking with a weapon larger than your opponent's, that's the secondary weapon. If the opponent's using a knife, you get that plus 1 die. That's not happening in this instance. If either figure's falling down, you get minus 1 die. If there's fists, teeth, or elbows, that's minus 1 die. And if there's an armor and shield, it varies by card. That refers to the parry card or the leap aside, jump back cards. So we've done all the modifiers. So you have 4 dice and I have 3. Is that correct?
That seems correct.
And you're rolling for both of us. There you go.
So
I'll move them to the proper card there. Ooh, that does not good.
So looks like you got 2 hits and I got all 4.
Now, I didn't tell you this. When you roll a 1 in close combat, it's a critical hit. It does 2 wounds instead of 1 and knocks your opponent down. Knocking down opponents is important towards determining who won the fight, and then capturing. You can capture guys that are knocked down. So again, it becomes important for victory points. So both of us are going to get knocked down because I rolled 2 1s and you rolled 1 1.
Okay.
Now, normally we would have defensive dice that could maybe stop some of this damage, but both of us decided to do full-on attacks. We were really both really excited about finally getting to blows with each other, and we just totally attacked each other and did a lot of damage.
Okay.
So you were looking for 4s or less, and you did all your dice did 4 or less. Plus you did a double wound for the 1, so you did 2, 3, 4, 5 hits to me. You basically killed Grey Wolf. So you can just knock him over. He's dead.
He's gone. Okay.
You got to leave him there. I don't know how you don't want to knock your figures down. You got to leave him there because we got to do the point totals for him later.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to make a point, yeah, you're right. If we put them face down if they're dead, or face up if they're just knocked down.
Yeah.
So he's dead. You took 4 points of damage, and you were knocked down. So you're dead too. Oh my gosh.
So they just clobbered each other.
They just clubbed each other to death. And it isn't necessarily one blow either. It could have been, a couple different knocks and hits during the fight, right?
We have a stripling who's spattered with the remnants of the battle.
Yes, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, did that really just happen right in front of my eyes?"
All right, so we have 2 more combats then.
Yeah, so that's the first one. So the next one, now we got to add up points for these for the nerve test point totals, but we'll go through that probably at the end of the combat.
Okay.
I also have done them during the combat where I count them during the combat, but either way works.
All right,
as long as remember what happened.
I have an unfortunate situation where both my warriors you have support on both of your warriors they're fighting. So you're going to get a +1 on each of those.
You need to figure out what figures are fighting.
So my warriors that are fighting are White Feather, who's a war bearer with a CV of 3. He has an axe and a knife. And he's up against directly Winter Branch, who also has a CV of 3. He's a war bearer, and he has a club and a knife.
Okay, so again, remember, you're the guy that chose which one they fought, right?
Yeah.
You're the one that charged in. So Winter Branch is definitely the guy that's involved, even though I brought the other guy in.
Yeah.
I can't have him take over the fight if he was better. I can't do that. He's just a supporting guy and gives me that extra +1 die.
Okay.
All right. So, but it's very important that way because it allows you as the charger to pick and choose who you want to fight. It could be important.
I want to either choose someone I can beat or someone that might give me a little more prestige if I brought them down. So, Rain Dancer versus Winter Branch. And I have to choose. Right. So, I've got Rain Dancer here on the chart. If you look, I have a question for you. If you look at Rain Dancer, who is second down from the right, he has 2 knives. Why is that?
Because you could throw one.
Ah, okay.
So sometimes people will get extra weapons added because they have equipment slots available, and they would get to throw that. Now, for instance, that figure, because we like to play what you see is what you get. So that, and especially when we're making a starting scenario, because we don't want to be too really overly complicated. Now, the players, when they get more advanced, would maybe give that guy armor or something.
Yeah.
As their opponent or something like that. But because it was designed this for a starter game, he's just giving what you can see. So that's why we probably didn't put any armor on him. We gave him a knife instead.
Okay.
That's kind of the thinking. But he could have thrown it as when the guys shot the bows.
Yeah.
Now, they don't have a lot of range. They don't have a lot of range with the knife, but you could have knives can also be thrown when you're running.
Yeah.
So it gives you, bows can't be shot when you're running, but knives and tomahawks and axes can be thrown when you're running. and they are in the shooting chart if you look at the QRS and the shooting chart. So you could have ran up, like when I tried to charge you and didn't make it, I could have then stopped and thrown a bunch of weapons at you if I had thought of it, and if I had some.
Can even throw a rock.
Secondary, then that would allow you to still have a secondary weapon when it comes to a fight. If you threw one of the knives, you wouldn't be leaving yourself vulnerable to losing, because then you could later break your club, because that's in the rules too.
Yeah.
You could break your club, and then you'd be, if you didn't have a knife, you'd be, what am I going to fight with? You're down to fists and teeth at that point, which is on the chart.
Okay.
So this gives you the ability to throw the knife and still have one in reserve, or throw two knives if you want to do that. Right?
Okay. So a knife has basically got that double ability there. You can throw it or use it in hand, like close combat.
And then going back to our first fight, I just thought of something, because you made me look at the sheets. Grey Wolf has wood chest armor, so he's actually not dead, right?
Oh, really?
Remember we said the wood chest armor is a free hit?
Yeah.
So you did 5 hits to him total, and the armor would absorb 1, so he's actually only got 4 hits.
So he's
not knocked down.
Knocked down, so I can turn him over. Oh, there it is. -4 mortal wound. Is that correct?
Yep.
So he may not be dead, but he's getting close.
Yep.
All right.
He just kind of. So meanwhile, we're doing this other combat between Brain Dancer and Winter Branch.
Yes.
So both of these guys are war bearers. As you can see, their CV is 3.
Yes.
And they're both going to choose cards at random. So you need to pick up your 2 cards out of your dice tray there and put them back in each of the decks.
Yeah.
And then you need to shuffle up your attack cards and throw one out at random. And I'm going to shuffle up my defense cards, and I'm going to throw one out at random.
All right. So here I am shuffling. Blah, blah, blah. And I've chosen a card. So I'm laying it down. No idea what it is.
So you can flip it over, because I've already flipped mine up. As you can see, I'm a parry. So you can put your card out, and then you can pull a parry out of the defense deck and put a parry down.
All right. I got the wonderful, colorful card. In other words, I tripped.
So you were surprised that the second guy came and supported you, so that really affected your ability to fight in the combat. You slipped on a banana peel and fell down.
Yeah, looks like it.
So Ha is 1D. Now, Ha's, we don't worry about the taunting effect of it unless that key character is involved, which is a Great Warrior companion or a healer or a shaman, but they're not. So this is just going to be a standard combat. And a parry will probably be 1 and 3. So you're going to get 1 die, and I'm going to get 3.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to get a 4th die because I have that man in support.
Okay, so I'm rolling 1.
You get 1, yeah.
I get 1.
And yours has to be a defense die, so you will roll a green one.
Yeah.
And mine, I have to have at least 1 defense die. So this is my choice with the parry card. I'm getting 3 dice. I could take all defense dice if I want, which I may do if you had a more effective card that you pulled, but you pulled such a lousy card that I really want to attack you and do damage to you.
Okay.
So I have to take 1 of them as a defense die, and I'll take the other 2 as attack die. That's my choice. But the card's telling me that at least 1 of them has to be a green defense die.
Okay. So I've got.
You don't really have to roll that one, but
I've got
there.
2.
Yep.
All right.
And
so
then you're gonna roll 1 defense die, Bob.
So you've got. And here's my 1 defense die, which was a 3.
So you're successfully in your defense.
Yeah.
And I do a 1 and a 2, which is I hit you twice. The 1's a critical hit, so that means it's going to do 2 wounds. I'm going to knock you down.
Okay.
You can use your 1 successful defense die to block my 2 that you rolled.
Okay.
You can't use a successful defense die to block a 1 unless you roll another 1. So if your die had been a 1 on the green die, you could have blocked my 1.
Okay.
You follow that?
Yep.
But because you would just rolled a regular 3, which is a regular defense, you could block my actual attack. So I helped you out. So I did 2 hits to you and you fell down.
All right. And he's lying on his back with a white -2.
Great.
So we're doing this combat right here.
So that looks like
And
raised with corn.
And raised with corn, your standard warbearer with an axe and a knife. Combat value 3. And he's
Your
fighting
guy is-
Turtle Claw, who's a warbearer with a bow and a knife.
Okay, so again, these are both warbearers. So again, we're going to choose a card at random. So we're going to shuffle up my cards.
Okay.
And pull one out at random. And hold it up.
Okay, I'm shuffling.
Got to
mine.
jump back.
Placing it and turning it. Lunge.
I got to jump back, Bob.
Okay, so I get 3 dice to your 1.
Yep. Now it says 1d6 when wearing armor. Raised with corn is not wearing armor. Oh, he is wearing armor. He has wood chest armor.
You got jump back and putting that up.
Right, and you have lunge. So you're going to get 3 dice. I'm going to get 1. Do you have a spear? No, you don't.
No, just a
With
knife.
the lunge card, you get plus 1d6 with a spear if you had it, but you don't. I get minus 1d6 for wearing armor, so my lunge is going to go, my 3-1's going to go, my 1's going to be modified down to 0. I'm going to get no dice. And you're going to get 3.
Okay, ready to roll?
And hold on. I get a die because I've got my healer supporting. I'm going to get 1.
You get 1 green die.
Yeah, because it says AD at the top of my card, all my dice have to be green. And because your card says AA, all your dice have to be red.
Okay.
So you're rolling all that?
Ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right. There's the results.
I didn't jump back at all. I was really ineffective in my defense.
I could discard the
And
5.
you're looking for, yep, and you did 2 damage to me. So this is the first time we've done a combat where the guy didn't actually get knocked down, but he does take a minus 2 wounds.
Yeah.
Throw a white minus 2 on him, and we're ready to roll.
All right.
Or move along, rather than roll. All right, so now we've got the combat completed, correct?
That looks like it. Bit of a mess.
All right, so now we go through the nerve point chart, which is on the QRS, if you want to go to that, or
Okay.
the nerve points chart. So for each wound caused, to get +1 per CV loss. This is the blue chart on the right-hand side.
Second down.
Second
from the
chart,
far right.
second chart down. And wounds caused +1.
All right.
So your companion took all 4 hits.
Yep.
That's 4 for me. You did 4. You did 5 to Grey Wolf, but his armor absorbed 1, so that's not a CV loss. You did 4 back to me, even though you rolled 5. You follow that?
Yep.
So that's 4-4. The second fight, you did nothing to me, and I did 2 to you.
Yep. And knocked
So
me
that's
down.
So that's 6 points for me and 4 for you.
Yeah.
In the last fight, you did 2 to me, and I did none to you. So we're tied 6-6.
Okay.
So go back to your charts, QRS again. So the next one is opponent falls down +1, and then caused a gory wound +1. We'll go over those two because there is a gory wound to your companion. If you want to go back, your companion got a gory wound is considered anytime somebody takes their full CV in one hit, which is what happened to your companion. It also almost happened to Grey Wolf, but not quite.
Okay.
So opponent falls down. So your companion fell down. That's 7 for me, and then it was also the gory death, which is 8 for me. Grey Wolf fell down. That's 7 for you. In the second fight, the Rain Dancer fell down. So that's 9 for me and 7 for you.
Yeah.
In the third fight, nobody fell down. There was no gory death. So the score right now is 9.
So actually, it was White Feather who fell down, but yeah.
All right, and the there's only the one gory wound. We counted that, so we're at 9-7. So if you go back to the QRS, this is an important one. We'll do the last 2 on the QRS. And the second one is a big one. It says, wounded, gory wound, or knockdown. Opponent was a great warrior, companion, or stripling. And then that's +1. And then the finest one is taunts, +1 per OP lost cause. There was no taunts. We're not worried about that one. We're worried about the who was knocked down. So, your companion was knocked down. That's going to give me another point for 10. You knocked down my great warrior. That's going to give you another point, which is going to put you at 8. I knocked down White Feather. He's not a great warrior, companion, or stripling, so that doesn't matter. Nobody cares that he's on the ground. And then nobody was knocked down in the third fight, so that's the final score. 10-8. So I win the fight.
Okay.
Very bloody and close combat. The blue highlighted writing underneath the Flint and Feather quick reference sheet number 2 says, the losing player now makes a nerve test. He must roll against the CV of the best warrior left standing. If the ratio is less than 2 to 1, roll less than the CV to pass. And this should be less than equal to. If the ratio is 2 to 1, then roll less than the CV minus 1 to pass. And if the ratio is 3 to 1, then roll less than the CV minus 2. So we get our ratios out. I did 10, you did 8. So I win the fight. So you're the guy that's checking.
Yeah.
And it's a 1-to-1 because 10 is not double of 8. So a double would be 8-4, or I would have had to do 16 to you because you did a lot of damage to me. So it's not 2 to 1. So you're just going to make a regular CV roll. Equal to or less than your CV.
I only have the highest ranking figure there is a Warbear, so it's a CV of 3.
Everybody else is lower than 3.
Yeah.
So you're rolling for a 3 or less to pass this test.
And that's a 4.
So you failed the test.
Okay.
If we go to the next chart down, underneath that blue box is the nerve test table, and you're going to be failed by 1. So if you want to read that off.
The losers retire 1 action at a walk action and may take their casualties with them. Warriors who suffered a fall down each need a standing comrade to drag them clear, or they stay at the spot of the fight and may become a separate group or groups. The winners remain in place. They may recover any dropped weapons or capture enemy warriors that have suffered a fall down result. So if we leave behind anybody, they can be captured.
Yeah, but you don't. If the difference between this is failed by 1, you can actually pull them out if you've got a standing guy. Whereas if you look at the chart, failed by 2 or failed by 3, it says that you just leave them.
Yeah.
Later, worse, depending on how much you blow the roll by, it can be worse for you. So in this instance, you're in pretty good shape. So you've got a standing warrior that can drag So your healer can drag your companion away, and somebody else can drag the other fallen down guy away.
Looks like it. Now
Two guys.
I've got a walk move, so it's basically we don't have to. Will the healer? Now I'm doing a walk move, right? So that is 2 dice.
Yep.
Then choose the highest.
Yep.
So it's a 2. So I'm not going very far.
Again, they just kind of pick them up and move them with them. The guys that are falling down are still falling down. They got to stay.
They got to stay falling down.
Like,
yeah.
So it's going to take him a whole action to stand up. Which means if I charge in there and get a hold of them, they can they'll have to fight from on the ground, which could be bad.
Looks like I've broken up inadvertently into 2 groups because.
Yeah, just push them back because we moved the trees around.
So
as long as you maintain your. Why are those guys base to base? They don't need to be.
No, they're separated them a bit.
But then but you're right. If you had a problem where you rolled like 11 inches of movement and one guy moved to one end and the other, if somebody died in the middle, you could actually have the group cohesion broken.
Yeah.
If you try to picture what I'm saying.
Yep.
You could actually end up with group cohesion broken and create 2 groups.
Okay.
But I don't think that was necessarily the case here because the only guy that died was the companion. He was at the edge anyway.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's the end of it.
That group in the swamp. The group in the swamp gets a reaction. They want to react to the guys moving.
Yeah.
So they need to activate. So remember, to activate for a reaction, you got to roll less than the best warrior in the group.
So that's a 4 because.
Isn't your great warrior over there?
Or no, the great warrior's over there, so it's a 5. Yeah.
You roll a 5 or less to be able to get them to do what you want.
Okay, 2.
All right. So now I believe one guy's standing on a furs marker.
Yes.
So unless he's a bowman that you want to shoot with, you can pick it up.
He's not the bowman. There are 2 bowmen.
Put that over on your table edge. You've collected that now. It's worth 25 points to you. All right. So he's done his reaction. So the rest of your guys in your group, what would you like to do with them?
We have 2 with bows. Both are. One is a veteran warrior with a CV of 4, and one is a warbearer. And they're going to shoot at.
Oh, you're just. Bob, let me interrupt. So are you going to remain stationary? You don't want to move the other guy?
We're not going to move. We're going to remain stationary to shoot.
Okay. So maybe, now just thinking in long terms, in terms of tactics, you could have done this first and fired your bows over there and maybe done some damage and then charged in.
Ah, okay.
Okay? It's just, that's not a gameplay issue. That's just a, hey, maybe you could have done this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 2 guys remaining stationary. You said a 4 and a 3?
Yeah.
A veteran warrior and a warbearer.
Yeah.
All right. So are they over 12? My group.
No, I don't think they are. I think they are. Well, let me look. Hang on. Maybe they are.
They're over 12 inches?
One is over 12 inches. One is under.
Okay. So again, you have the same problem. You can't fire through your own guys. So you won't be able to hit any of my figures that go through your guys.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple. I'm assuming you've got a couple there you can hit.
There's a couple here we can hit that don't go through our guys.
Okay, so keep that in mind. And we're rolling targets later. So the veteran warrior is going to start with a 4. You're reacting, which is -1 CV, so it's going to be a 3.
You're in the woods.
And I'm in the woods, so now you're down to a 2. So you're -2 CV overall. What's the other guy? Is he a warbearer?
He's a warbearer.
You need a 1 with the warbearer and a 1 or a 2 with the veteran.
Okay.
So 2 different colored dice.
So the warbearer The veteran gets the black dice, and the warbearer gets the red. 2 4s.
So they both miss, correct?
They both miss.
So I got to believe that's the end of your reaction.
That is it. That is it.
All right, so now you become the active player. In the bottom half of turn 2, you're the active player, so you're going to roll on a standard activation turn.
Okay. If that was my reaction, don't you have a second?
Normally I would get a second action, but I rolled a medicine roll.
Right. Okay. That makes
which
sense.
only gives me one action by one group.
Okay. So I'm going to do my activation roll. And it's a 3.
So 3 is groups led by great warriors or companions.
The chart. So yeah, only groups led by companions or great warriors. Well,
yes, group number 2 is led by a warbearer now. Correct?
yes, they only have a warbearer leading them now.
So group number 1 is active, but group number 2 is not.
Right.
So they're stuck there because they are very, very heartbroken that Arrow Flies Fast died and that they didn't do much better in the combat as they were expecting.
So maybe I will just do a.
So
maybe I'll do a walk so I can use my bows a little better.
That's correct. And maybe throw some of those knives or tomahawks.
Yeah. So we'll do a walk. And it's a 3 and a 4, so I got a 4-inch move. So the stripling, or the character picked up the
Furs marker.
The furs marker. He's fine now to move with the group.
Correct.
Okay. So that's as far as they got for a 4-inch move.
All right. Now you're shooting.
Okay.
You got 2 guys with bows. The other guys, I don't know if you want to throw anything or not, but
Well, let's have a look.
If you see the yellow missile weapon table, which is the second yellow chart down.
Yeah.
Thrown secondary weapon. So a knife can go out to 8 inches. I don't even know if you're that close. A thrown axe or club can go out to 8 inches. A spear can go out to 12.
So that, move that a little bit. 8 inches is
That second red band, right?
The second red band right here, which means
a
couple are in range for an 8-inch missile weapon. So if, say, 2 ravens decided to throw his spear, he could do that.
Spears can go 12. Spears can go 12, so he's definitely within range.
Okay. So he will throw his spear. And
now, if you look at 2 Ravens' sheet, it says spear, club, and knife.
Yeah.
So you could throw the club if you wanted to too.
I think.
But it only goes 8 inches. But it's your choice.
I think we'll throw the spear.
The club is actually more deadly than the spear.
Throw?
So you get it. Well, a thrown axe or club is +2 damage at long range, whereas a thrown spear is only +1 at long range.
Oh, okay. Let's start with 2 ravens and a spear.
Okay, so it's over 6, right? For him?
Yeah, it's 8 inches.
So he's long range, which is -1. If you look at the shooting modifiers, which is beside the missile weapon table, which we were just at.
Yeah.
Target is not an easy target. Target is concealed, yes, because they were all supposed to be in the woods.
Yeah.
So that's -1. Target is moving cautiously, no. Shooter is moving is yes. He's -2. Shooter is reacting, no. It's long range is another -1, so he's at -3. And that's the only ones I see. So you're going to be at -3.
From a
So he's
combat, from a CV of 5, so it's 2.
1 or a 2 to throw the spear.
All right. 5. No.
So he misses.
There goes my spear, darn it.
Now, and the way the game works is once you throw it away,
It's gone. It's gone. Yeah.
which is actually designed to give guys with more equipment the benefit. So, for instance, your guy was through that, and it's gone, but he can still be effective in the game with his club. Whereas a guy who didn't have the club would now be down to his knife because he didn't have as many equipment points as Great Warrior. So the thinking there, the design there is that the equipment now is more important if it goes rattling off into the woods somewhere and nobody can find it. Now he does get it, if you're playing the campaign game, he does get his spear back in between games so he doesn't lose it permanently. But in terms of, we just found it made, and in the campaign game it becomes important too because one of the campaign cards is you get a new piece of equipment. So you can start to have a stripling or a war bearer that actually has a tomahawk that they can throw or an axe that they can throw, right? So it actually affects a little bit of design thinking there. We got 2 guys with bows.
We're going to start with Red Bear, the Veteran Warrior, with a CV of 4. It is close range for a bow.
Oh, it is. Good.
Yeah, it's under 12, right?
Yeah.
So he's in the woods.
So its target is concealed -1 and shooter's moving, right?
The shooter walked, so yes.
-2.
So we're at a 2 again.
Yep.
Go back to the dice cams for the roll. 5. He missed again.
Rolling 5 today.
I know. That's the story of my life. And the final bow is going to be rolling for a 1 because he's just a same target and he's only a warbearer, so he's losing the 1 for the woods and the 1 for walking. 3. Look at that.
Needed a 1.
You needed a 1. So that's that. Your reaction is up, I guess.
All right, so we'll try to activate Group 1. The Great Warrior is down, so I don't know whether is there a Veteran Warrior in there or just are we with?
You are.
I can't see the figures.
Yeah, you're inside that group. You have last Barefoot, who's just a warbearer. You have Raised with Corn, also a warbearer. You have 2 Rabbits, who's the stripling.
Calls the Moose across the river is not there, right?
And calls the Moose. And the last guy you have still is Winter Branch, who's also a warbearer. Other than
right, so I'm rolling for 3 or less to activate those guys as a reaction.
Okay.
You want to roll me a 3 or less?
Can you see it in the corner there?
Yeah, just roll her up there.
You got a 4.
So they don't activate.
Okay.
So group number 2, you've been standing over in the woods for like forever.
Yeah.
They're going to roll. They have a companion over there, so they need a 4 or less.
Yes.
That is the companion first across the river.
Yes. And here's his roll. 3. He succeeds.
They activate.
Yeah, they activate.
Now they haven't picked up the furs marker, right? So I suppose we'll all just pick up the furs marker and call it a day.
Okay. So we
I
will.
think if they don't, they'll end up leaving somebody behind, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, so you've now got 2 furs markers over there on the edge of your table.
And the last guy is the stripling, which is number 3.
Yep.
Okay, so the stripling is activating as a reaction, so he needs, his CV is 2.
Yep.
So he needs a 1 or a 2 to react.
All right.
So rolling for a 1 or a 2.
You can see the die. There you go, 1. He did activate.
He activated. So he will make a run move to group number 1, I guess.
Okay.
I don't want to get him.
And it's 9 inches. We'll discard the 2.
Run him 9 inches towards group number 1.
Okay. There he is. So if we look at the
so that's my reaction done.
Okay.
So now it's your second action.
Group 1. The Great Warrior with them, and that was the activation roll.
Perfect.
Yeah. And it only allowed the Great Warrior companions groups to activate. And since I have my companion is dead, leaves me with 1. So, and I think we're going to repeat what we did last time and do some more. Well, that shooting wasn't overly effective, but we're stationary now, so maybe we'll give it a shot with being stationary and get that extra 1 on both of those bows. My great warrior can't throw a spear because it's gone.
We could do a walk move, but leave the 2 bows behind.
Oh, break up another.
Create a third group. However, my suggestion would be that you probably want to move the Great Warrior over towards group number 2, so that next turn on your activation he'll be with them. Follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's an option.
It's an option, or my Great Warrior could run off and grab a stripling and adopt him. Maybe my Great Warrior is going to be impetuous and just decide, you know what? I need a new family member. What would you think about that? Doable?
The only way to get him to really capture him is to knock him down in combat.
Yeah.
You have to roll a 1 to knock somebody down in combat, and if you roll the 1, you kill a stripling.
So there isn't a way to just kind of nab him, huh?
No. Not at this point.
I think we'll try and join the other group. Make one big group again.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can even leave your bows stationary and then set your other guys up so that everybody's within 2 inches.
I think that's what we'll do. The bowman will keep shooting, and the other 3, the Great Warrior and the 2 Warbearers, will move in and join the other group to bolster them.
Roll a walk move. You only want, unless you want to run over there. It doesn't really matter because the bowmen aren't moving, so they're kind of stationary.
I think we'll do a. I'm going to do a run move over. So here it is, 6 and a 3, so 9 inches.
They definitely have lots of.
So they're fine. They can get. They'll get over there.
So it's somebody within 2 inches of that bowman on the end.
Yeah, a little bit. So move them away.
Oh no, you want them to be within 2 inches.
Yeah?
Of the bowman. Yeah, because then you'll have one big group.
Oh, okay. So we'll do that with the Great Warrior. We're all one big group now.
There you go.
One big, happy, pillaging group.
And you've cleared out of the way of the bowman so that the bowmen can now unleash their arrows
into the general group. Yeah. So
into the concealed warriors in the woods.
We're still talking about a CV of 4 and a CV of 3. They did.
Yes, but you've gotten rid of the -1 for moving, So your only modifier is going to be -1 for being in
for in the
concealment.
woods. So I'm going to roll the veteran
Roll two different,
warrior first.
you can roll 2 different dice.
Okay, the black dice is for the warbearer, and the red dice is for the veteran.
You got it.
1 and a 1.
So they both hit. So they both roll random targets. How many guys do I have over there?
Without shooting through my own guys, I was aiming at, there are 3 guys here.
Yeah, but I would say that guy on the end can probably hit my guy.
This guy
Which
here,
one?
you think he can? I guess he could.
That's
I guess
close.
it's close.
Close. But anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
How many guys you got? How many guys you given yourself to hit?
I was thinking of these 3 here. So
Now the Great Warrior that's lying down on the ground is a valid target too.
is he okay? So he's in there too.
So you got 4.
4.
Roll those dice again on a 1 through 4. That's who you hit. The Great Warrior will be considered number
So
1.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Now 5 or 6, you're going to re-roll the die.
Okay. Five, I'm re-rolling. 2. So 2 and 4.
Okay, so the shooting damage table at the bottom of the yellow chart,
Yeah.
on the left-hand side, I guess that
Yeah.
is what you're rolling on. Were you within 12 inches?
Yes.
So you're going to get a +1 modifier on the die roll. So first you're rolling against number 2, and then you're going to roll, or just roll, you got the black die and the red die there, so
Yeah.
just roll them both
Okay.
and add 1 to each. And we know that the black die is number 2 and the red die is number 4.
6 and a 2.
So if you go look at the chart, the black die is a 2 with a +1 is a 3. That's a duck back, which we represent by turning the figure away from facing away from the enemy. And that just requires a whole action to recover from.
Okay, so he's
Like I lose the turn. And the 6 is worse. The 6 becomes a 7. And that's the -2 CV wound. So number 4 will get a -2 CV wound, and number 2 will be ducked back.
okay.
So the Great Warrior was 1. Which guy is number 2?
This guy here.
Is he a stripling?
Yeah, he was a stripling. Yep, he is.
So he's ducked back. So turn him so he doesn't face you,
Yeah.
your guys. And
Yeah.
then number 4, he's probably dead. Number 4 is going to be the guy that's already wounded, right?
No, he's freshly wounded by the arrow.
Oh, which guy's number 4?
This guy back here with the spear.
Yeah, but he's got a ring on him already.
I just put it there because of the -2.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. All right.
So how
There you go.
does the stripling move at all, or he just turns away?
Just turns it away.
Okay.
So it's going to take his whole, next time I activate that group, his whole turn is just going to be turning around to face you.
Okay.
Like his recovery from being ducked back.
Okay. So that's the end of that turn. It's now the ball's in your court.